Hare Krishna. The mind is not just naughty but also haughty. And the naughty is often used to refer to children who may do all kinds of mischievous things. So the Bhagavad Gita, while describing the characteristics of the mind, refers to a characteristic which is often associated with children. Chanchala. Chanchala is restless. Children are often restless because they are naughty. They don't want to do one thing for a sustained way. Do this, then go there, go there, go there. And they are often playful. So now naughtiness is troublesome. It is rebellious, but it is not very dangerous. So children are naughty because they want to be playful. But if the children are educated properly, they're told, how harmful a particular thing will be. Children just want to play with a knife, but when they are told that a knife, it will cut you and it will cause you great pain, and then you may have to take injections and you may even lose your finger permanently, then why not do this? So naughtiness can be cured by proper education. But the mind is not just naughty, it is haughty. Haughty means it's arrogant. Chanchalam himana Krishna pramathi balavadridham. So Krishna says that it's pramathi, it is agitating, balavad, it is strong, dridham, it is obstinate. So these are this obstinacy and strength. This is a characteristic of haughtiness. When a person is haughty, that means the person doesn't care for anything or anyone. That person actually strives only for one's own benefit and not for anyone else's benefit. The person strives only to do what needs to be done or what one wants to do. Haughty people don't care for anyone else's opinion and just care for their own prestige, and they are caught in their own egomania, megalomania about how great I am and how I can show my greatness to the world. So like that, the mind tends to be haughty. And yes, this is my plan, this is how I am going to enjoy, and by doing this I will get tremendous enjoyment. And when the mind has this sort of conception, then it stays caught. It cannot do anything constructively, it cannot learn. So the mind is dangerous because it is naughty like a child, but a child can be educated, but mind is also haughty. Haughty like a grown-up person who is very proud and arrogant and doesn't feel the need to learn. So children are teachable. The mind is often doesn't seem teachable. Now this does not of course mean the mind is not teachable, but we have to know that it requires much more effort. This is a haughty person sometimes needs to be crushed. The haughty person has to be beaten, pounded by life, by life's ups and downs, by life's consequences, or due to one's wrong choices which are made in haughtiness. Then that person becomes open to learn. So similarly, if we remain very submissive to the mind, we keep hearing the mind, then we will have to be pound and ground in the school of hard knocks in life. We'll have to be pound and ground before we will be open to learn. But thankfully we don't have to suffer like this. If we use whatever intelligence we have to study scripture, then to study Bhagavad Gita, then we will understand that how the mind's megalomania, the mind's haughtiness is having no foundation. The mind imagines pleasure in things where there is actually very, very little pleasure. The mind imagines the temporary to be lasting, and in this way it misleads us. And scripture helps us to see the naughtiness and the haughtiness of the mind. And when we see this, then we can distance ourselves from the mind. We don't listen to the mind. We won't listen to the mind. And in that way, we can start the process of teaching the mind. So teaching the mind is much more difficult than teaching a child, but it is possible. It is possible if we first of all distance ourselves from the mind. And that's why we need to study scripture regularly, daily. In fact, we need to remind ourselves of the fundamental truths of scripture, by which we don't fall into the either the naughty or the haughty spell of the mind. Naughty means it is just doing some playful things. Haughty means the mind is doing dangerous things, with self-destructive things, or things that are destructive for others, but without even considering consequences, without even considering what is going to be the result of one's actions. The mind recklessly charges into activities which are foolhardy. But all that can be avoided if we study scripture regularly and take shelter of Krishna. Because when ultimately the mind is seeking pleasure, so through its naughtiness and through its haughtiness, it wants pleasure. But when we practice fixing the mind on Krishna through study of scripture, through the practice of meditation, through prayer, then we experience satisfaction, a fulfillment that is far greater than what is provided by either the naughtiness or the haughtiness of the mind. And that's how we rise upwards towards Krishna, and eventually we are able to break through the mind's naughtiness and haughtiness. And that's how we train the mind, we teach the mind, we transform the mind by not just philosophical education about the nature of the mind coming from scripture, but by devotional spiritual satisfaction coming from practice of devotional service and absorption in Krishna thereof. Thank you.